Jason here. Welcome back. I'm going to try to do a review on my Cogent suspension. This is about my 6th ride on it now, and I've kind of yapped about it on every ride I've been out on, but I'm having a hard time. I was having a hard time putting it into words and putting the difference that this has made into words and my expectations versus reality. And I'm going to try to do that for you here tonight. So let's see how this goes. I'll try again. So as many of you know, I have done a Cogent suspension upgrade on my KLR 650. This is a 2015, and previously I had done fork and rear shock oil changes. I had gone to a heavier weight oil, and I had gone to a heavier Top Gun rear coil on the back, and that had you know, it seriously helped, and it got me through up until this past winter, when I phoned down to Cogent and got a hold of Todd down there and ordered this beautiful setup. Now this is the this is a full set from them, pretty much the top of the line, I think, for the KLR. The front end has the DDC cartridges, the coils and spacers, and I also got the adjustable top caps for the front forks. The rear has the Moab Pro series, and of course all set up for me as to my specifications, weights, empty and loaded, and they take all that into account and they build you a system. Ooh, guys, this might be a little damper than I had expected. What do you think? And here I was thinking maybe we could run along on here so I could show you just what's going on. Sorry, we interrupt this little vlog here to go through some water. There we go, a little bit of dry stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. Guys, I gotta say, it's absolutely amazing. It has made this bike ride like it looks. Does that make any sense? The KLRs always looked like great big dirt bikes, but you had to be careful that you didn't, you know, completely abuse them as far as thrashing along, because the suspension could only take so much. At the end of the day, it's a do-everything motorcycle, not a track bike. However, this Cogent suspension certainly makes it feel more track bike-ish. So where to begin? Let's start with my expectations. When I spoke to Todd about this down at Cogent, and he walked me through the questions, I was honest about everything. And when he asked me, you know, how I ride, and hang on again, sorry. Ooh, okay, it's deep. It's hard to ride and look down at the same time, but just to give you a perspective on how deep that was. Whew. All right. Ah, it is good fun right there. Now maybe I can focus. So he asks you all these questions and you answer them. And some of them are sort of, you know, like, what's your style of riding? And your level of riding skill. And one of the last questions is if you could specify how you would like your suspension, would it be soft, medium, or firm? And so I picked firm. The main reason for that is because I've come off sport bikes and I'm used to a firm suspension, and I just kind of wanted to get back to that with this one. So you place the order, and you know, it takes them a bit of time to build it up for you and ship it to you, but it's not awful. Within a couple weeks, this box was at my door. During that couple weeks, you have time to think about it, and I started to wonder if maybe I had made a mistake. I really enjoy the fact that when I roll along the highway, I don't feel every bump between the concrete pads or a little bit of washboard. I didn't want it sort of chopping at me. And I got a bit of that with my last suspension because I had to go so heavy with the Top Gun coil to carry myself and my luggage when I go camping, that effectively what it does is it, in my mind, and I'm not a suspension expert, but in my mind, as soon as you go and you put that really, really heavy sprung coil onto the OEM shock, I think it stops the shock from doing what it's designed to do. So you do all these adjustments and you go to heavier oil, and you're just it's band-aids on an issue. So when this one came and I installed it, because I had then asked for firm, which was something that I never could get in my mind with the old setup, I was just afraid. I was scared it was going to feel like my ZX-12, like perfect for hard cornering at very high speeds, but not very comfortable for a nice ride into town to grab a coffee. Oh, it's just, I guess it's just crazy to me what a proper suspension feels like again. You forget. So now, with this on the bike, I roll along here and it's just smooth. And I don't mean plush, I just mean smooth. There's still feedback. I feel the bumps and the hollows. I can tell I'm getting feedback from the road up through the front end. I know I'm on gravel. Like, it's not like it's all wishy-washy, wallowy, because it isn't, but at the same time it's not jarring. So we cruise along here, for example, and it just feels awesome. Which would make you think, maybe I did go a little soft. Maybe I could have had them stiffen it up a little bit further. Until you hit the rough stuff. You need a suspension to do one thing over a certain section, and you need it to do another over a rougher section, and these really do pull it off. Like I said, I'm not a suspension expert, so I don't even pretend to understand the internal workings. I'm competent enough to set up and tune my own suspension after years of doing it. But I don't really know what all goes on inside those valves. However, having said that, I know what a nice ride feels like, and this is it. So when I accelerate away from a corner like I just did back there, I don't get that rear end sag like I used to under load. The other thing that's gone away is the crazy dive. Like, this is gravel, so I don't want to grab a mittful, but the crazy dive on the front end is gone under braking. You want to transfer weight there, so you don't want none. I get that, but this is man, this is nicely balanced, guys. And it should be. I will say that. This isn't cheap. I will say it's reasonable compared to something that's similar that you just buy off the shelf versus them building you one. I think it's very reasonable in that respect if you take apples to apples. But it isn't cheap. And it shouldn't be, because we're not expecting a cheap part out of it. But when you pay for it, it better work, right? This works. So that pretty much covers what I expected and what I think I've gotten here. Like, here's some rougher stuff here. Well, not really, sort of. Like, it just eases over them. Like, I find myself looking for potholes now where I always went around them. I don't know, the KLR as a platform is very stable, runs true, runs planted. But this has, like anything that you used to run scared of before, you know, you just kind of learn. Anytime you come up to something rough, you get up on the pegs and get into attack position, ready to handle it, take it. And now it's just like, I'm doing my best to hit these. It's hard to, but lots of feedback, which is what I was after. And then there, for example, there's a big one, and you like, I mean, you know you're on a proper suspension when you hit that. So the true test obviously is still to come. I'm not at all concerned from what I've put it through here in the last week and how it feels over everything that I've gone over or been through. I'm very confident that this is going to be really good. I'm pretty excited about it. Impressions. Actually, just got the throttle lock on here because that's 2 thumbs up from Mason. 2 thumbs up, guys. Well done. I hoped I was getting what I paid for, but boy, today you never know. As of now, I'm very comfortable that I certainly got what I paid for. Excellent to deal with on the phone. Walked me right through it. I was looking at the Moab before. Didn't realize that the Moab didn't have compression damping, and I really wanted both rebound and compression damping as well as compression preload. So he told me about the Moab Pro, and I'm just really glad that I had someone to talk to. Likely would have ordered the wrong shock for me. Everyone has their own different setup. I knew what I wanted, and those are the 3 things I wanted. I didn't want to spend money on something that didn't do everything. Buy once. Oh yeah. Did I mention like it corners like it's on rails too now? Not that I didn't before, but this suspension certainly is confidence inspiring. I'm a little damp. And on that note, I think I can likely wrap it up. I will obviously keep you guys updated as this summer goes along, but every time I've ridden before now, I really couldn't air those vlogs because every time I tried to talk about the suspension, I would just either start laughing or giggling. It's a good time. If anyone's in the market or is thinking about upgrading, I would certainly at least phone down and talk to them. If you have any questions, they can answer them. Thanks, guys. That's it. I will leave you alone. That's the first impression of my full Cogent suspension system on my KLR 650. I know you go, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now. Mason out. Hey guys, if you liked that video, hit the thumbs up button for us. It goes a long way towards helping out the channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button in the upper corner for new videos every Sunday. Be glad to have you along for the ride.